it is Crystal with Pineapple Papers, and I am back with how to kill a kit with style. So today I am using this sketch that is this week's sketch for the Redefine Creative public page. So Christina has a public page over there, and she does a sketch every Thursday, and then you get entered to win a prize. So I decided I had a little bit of time and I wanted to play with it and get a little messy. So this background paper is it's probably from a Maggie Holmes paper pad. And I just put some white gesso on it. And then for some reason I thought it would be a good idea to work on my splatters first. And I really wanted those really big splatters that you see in the sketch. And the nozzle just wasn't doing it. So I literally just kind of drew them. And then I will go back and just kind of splatter everywhere. So then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take this to dry. So I did. I dried it. And then I decided to do some texture paste that you see there. And really should have done the texture paste first, but I didn't. So this texture paste is beautiful. Like, I love it. But as Julianne can attest to, it stinks. Like... She comes in, she's like, what is that smell? I'm like, well, it's a texture paste. It'll be worth it. Let's just light a candle. So I just use a little cheapy plasticky palette knife. I got like a whole package of them at Hobby Lobby or something. And that was my idea for the kind of arrows in the sketch. And then I was like, oh, I kind of want it up there at the top as well. So that's what I did. It does smudge a little bit, and you can see that in the close-ups, but it's okay. It's kind of a messy type layout anyway, so I don't think it's a big deal that the stenciling isn't perfect. So I had to go take that over. I dried it with my heat gun, and then I decided to just kind of let it dry on its own. And then to keep with that chevron arrowy theme, I grabbed this piece of paper. Also for my kit, do think it is from a paper pad as well. And it's like a mint and gold glittery paper. It's really kind of cool. But it has that same pattern. So at first I was like, oh, I could cut them out individually, but they were so tiny. So I just did 2 strips of them, and I'm going to cut them at completely random lengths. And then I am going to use them over the stenciling in both sections. Now, I'm creating a little bit more of an upper cluster there than they have, but that's okay. So in the sketch, and the reason why I picked this background paper is you can kind of see those areas that could easily be washi tape or stamping or something, but it kind of looked like this background paper. So that was my thought for the background paper. And I am using this photo of my son. We were on a little hiking thing to this little pond, I guess you could call it. And I took a picture of him from behind. And so that's actually what my journaling talks about, that these are the pictures that I get of teenagers now. If I want a picture of them, most of the time it's from behind because they don't know that I'm taking the picture. But I like it. I think it's cute. And I'm okay that I am pulling in this red and pink because I like it. and I think it goes well. So I did try to make that kind of wonky banner that is in the sketch. And I wasn't sure if I wanted those little arrows to go underneath the banner or on top, so I'm kind of trialing that out a little bit. And then I'm going to look through my scraps and see if I want to layer a few more pieces underneath my photo, and I end up with these two. So I also decide I'm going to back my photo, and I found this kind of card. It was actually from one of the cut apart sheets that was in my kit, and I just cut it apart and stuck it in with my little 6x6 paper pad that I kind of kept all my scraps in, so it would kind of keep it together. And it's kind of a light pink, postcardy kind of looking. Not that you can see that because it's mostly covered. I did it just for the background. And then from the Maggie Holmes chipboard sheet, I pulled this yellow chipboard off and decided to frame that wonkily. That's not a word. Crooked, like a baseball diamond, on the picture so that it just highlights him. And so I toy with that little white piece there, but that doesn't end up making it. And I pulled out some wood veneer, and I am going to put that in 3 different places. I like this floral. I like the piece that says story. So that is going to be part of my title. At this point, oh my goodness. At this point, I had no idea what the title was going to be. So I figured I'm just going to have to figure it out, and it's going to have to be something story or story something. I don't know. So I stick it down there, and I'm just going to watch it for a while. I pull 2 more of those clips out, and those are the perfect colors in that bottom banner paper, and I love it. And then I am going to pull out the flare, and I had 1 more arrow clip, and that is going to make it, and then a couple more brads. So I am so close to finishing these set of brads. It's so awesome. So because I used that acorn paper, I felt like this was a perfect opportunity to use more of the acorns from the die cut pack. And I find this little journaling block, which it's like a miracle. If you noticed in the final picture at the beginning, and you will see it again at the end, it is journaled on. I mean, it's like 5 words, but this page is journaled on. So, yep, look at me go. So I've pulled all those out. I'm trying to see if there is anything else I want to put in that kind of top cluster. I'm going to add my little acorns all around with some of these fun leaves. And I do feel like I need something up there in the top, and I don't know that anything else gets up there. So I guess it wasn't bothering me at the time, but now that I'm watching it right now, I kind of feel a little bothered by it. So I hope it's not bothering you that it's a little bare up there. That's kind of one of the fun things about doing YouTube videos, is not necessarily watching yourself scrap, but you know, in the moment, you're like making all of these decisions, and you decide something you like or something you don't like, and then you're watching it back and you're like yelling at yourself sometimes. That looks really good. Leave it. Don't take it off. And you know you take it off because you took it off. Or you're like, why are you doing that? Like, why did you do that? You should have done something else. Or why is that corner bothering me? And it didn't bother me then. Who knows? So I do go ahead and attach everything. I attached the heart and the flower right there with some glue, and then realize later that they're self-adhesive and couldn't figure out why it was just sliding around. So I will go back, take the backing off, and call it good. So here's where I find the rest of my title. This is from a Cocoa Vanilla sticker sheet, and it says, "Boys will be boys." So, boys will be boys story. The story of how they don't like their picture taken, basically, and we just get the backside of them. So I was feeling like it needed a little anchoring, and so I am going to take and just cut off a small amount all the way around this pattern paper, and I am going to grab a piece of black cardstock from my stash. And this was kind of interesting. So I'm only looking at the corner, and I'm like, I think it's not big enough. So I kind of measure it, and I think it's not quite big enough. And I'm like, that's okay. I'm just going to glue it down. Why I did this, I don't know. I should have measured it. I did not measure it. So you're going to see I am going to glue it down. And then I'm going to realize that it's got a nice border on 3 sides and not on one side, which would have been fine. Like I could have done that. But I was like, no, I really want it all on one side. So I have to peel up this arrow, move it over. Then I'm going to peel the paper up, the 2 layers, and like sneak it in my trimmer to just cut off the slightest little piece of it and then put it back down. So it's, I don't know, probably 1/8 of an inch short, but I don't think I'm going to notice it in my album. It's not going to be super noticeable. And I really do like the complete black border around. And stitching would have been a nice element to add at this as well, especially because I have black thread in my sewing machine right now. So here are the close-ups. You can see right there my little mess up, but not really worried about the mess up too much. So there's my other side. So remember to check out everybody that's doing How to Kill a Kit with Style, and remember to wear your crown. We'll see you next time. Bye!